Here was Mullen's thoughts about that.
Big challenge for us, obviously, this week, coming off a big home win last week over a top 15 team. And one of the great things in the SEC, unlike just about every other conference, usually when you get a big-time win over a top 15 team, you load up and you play a team that's ranked even higher the next week. So, we get to do that this week, going on the road, playing Georgia, top team in the East.
Yeah, so listen, I mean, Dan Mullen and Mississippi State as a program, we said this yesterday, their identity is about sort of exceeding expectations and winning games despite the doubters who suggest they're going to finish last in the SEC West every single year. So I guess for now you can kind of put me in that group because I'm going to be a doubter for Mississippi State when it comes to this game this weekend. I don't think this team right now is good enough to do this 2 weeks in a row. I think they played so far above their head last week against LSU. The chances of, in a different venue, Sanford Stadium as opposed to Starkville, Mississippi, the chance of them being able to maintain that level of play, I just don't see it. Georgia's going to lose at some point this year, but it's not losing to Mississippi State on Saturday. I like Georgia in the game.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to give my pick until Thursday. I kind of have a pick. I'm not ready to give it just yet. I'm going to give it on Thursday when we get towards the end of this week. But I'm going to disagree with you by saying that Mississippi State can't do this 2 weeks in a row. Listen, we said this going into the year. Who was the best coaches in the SEC? Dan Mullen was at the list on number 2 when we talked about it. And I think his ability to get these players to play at a high level is nothing new for him in this program. They've had a lack of landmark wins, but this is a team that was number 1 in the country a few years ago. They were knocking off teams right and left. They have found an ability to go get some of these junior college prospects and play at a high level on the defensive line, at the linebacking core. And Aris Williams, we talked about Darius Geis a ton from LSU. What Aris Williams did last week against LSU's defense, rushed for 144 yards, he looked incredible. And I think this team, in more ways than one, is built to sustain a little bit. I'm not ready to say yet, but I think they're built to sustain this level of identity here.
Keith Christensen says every year the Bulldogs, he means UGA, are picked to win the East, and every time they choke. I won't deny that Georgia's got its own problems here.
Yeah. But
when I say that Mississippi State can't do this 2 weeks in a row, what I kind of mean is almost no college team is capable of playing at a really high level 2 weeks in a row. I mean, it would be you're putting Mississippi State in the category of top teams in the country to say, hey, you can beat an LSU by 30 points and then go on the road, overcome a touchdown point spread deficit, and win that game as well. That's just asking Mississippi State to achieve at a level that I just don't think it's at. Is it a top 25 team? It might be. Is it a team capable of playing with almost anybody? It might be. Is it a team capable of doing this 2 weeks in a row? I'm going to stop short of saying that.
Well, listen, I think